In this film we're going to wind the bobbin on the Singer 201K. First job we need to do is disengage the drive. And that's achieved on the end of the hand wheel by simply holding the hand wheel and rotating this centre wheel all the way anti-clockwise, and you'll feel it stop against the screw stop. And then when you operate the hand wheel, the machine doesn't run. The first thing we need to do is identify where the small pin is on the bobbin winder, because that pin needs to engage with the smaller hole which is nearest to the centre on the bobbin. So we put the bobbin on and just turn until that engages, and then simply press the whole shebang down against the wheel, so that when the wheel turns, the bobbin winder turns as well. Now there's two routes you can take for threading. If you ordinarily you would put the spool on here, then pass it under these discs and up to the bobbin winder. But what you'll find is if you've got a very tall reel of thread like this, as it winds off and comes up to near the top, it will generally jump out of these discs, because those discs are very suitable, however, if you use a short roll, and then you generally find there's no jumping. So if you've got a small spool of thread, simply use this spool pin down here, take the thread up and rotate until the small hole on the left side pass from the inside to the outside. Okay, simply like that. Just take up the slack a bit and just hold it while you do the first few turns. And then what you can do is find your scissors that you've left over the other side of the room, just snip off the excess and then carry on winding your spool. However, if your thread is on a very tall spool, what I would suggest you do is use the spool pin on the top of the machine, and I'll show you how to do that next. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to put our taller spool of thread up on the usual spool pin. Take it across the top of the machine to this first guide over here on the left, and then pass it down diagonally across in front of the spool pin, underneath those discs, and then up, and as before pass it from right to left through the smaller hole in the bobbin. Just take up the slack and start winding. Now do a few winds and then snip off the excess, and then carry on winding your spool. And the main reason for doing this is when you go really fast, these tall spools tend to sort of jump and leap off the top of the spool, which is up here somewhere, and it comes out from between these discs, and then all hell breaks loose. But this is the best way to do it if you're using a tall spool of thread. This is also a reasonable path to take if you're using a cone on a cone stand. So just keep on winding until your bobbin is completely full. Now what you'll find is that when it's full, it should automatically pop away from the hand wheel if everything is correctly adjusted. And the other adjustment you need to know about is if it tends to pile up on one side or the other, there is a screw behind here, and you can move this device left and right. So if it's piling up on the left of your bobbin, just move it a few millimeters to the right, and vice versa, until you get it so that it's winding nice and evenly. So we'll just carry on winding now until this is completely full. And there you go, it popped off all on its own. If your bobbin does overfill, there is a small screw in there where you can adjust how close and how far away it is from the hand wheel, which will adjust how full it gets before it pops off. But basically you don't want to have the thread any higher than the metal sides, otherwise it will rub on the bobbin case and your tension will be all over the place. So simply snip it off and slide off the bobbin, and that is how you wind the bobbin on a 201K. Very, very simple and straightforward.